I've been able to really tap into the ecosystem here. Probably, I'd say as much, if not more, than anyone else. And that's probably just the stage of my project. Immediately when I sat down, I met a gentleman sitting on the other side of me named Barry, who was plugged into everything technical, and he's referred to around here as the mayor of work. And he was basically able to point me into different directions depending on what I was looking for. So the gentleman to my left was very expert on WordPress. So as I started to learn and need WordPress, he was there for me. The gentleman behind me is an editor. So as I was doing some writing projects, I was able to lock in there. During one of the Tuesday coffee socials, I was describing what my product was, and that it was in the wearable fitness space, and the stage I was at. And I met Nancy, who is a freelance writer who was writing an article for a business journal, and said, "Hey, can I interview for you? For this article?" Absolutely. So, interviewed. Within a couple weeks, I had a photographer up in my house taking pictures, and within a month, my company was being highlighted in the North Bay Business Journal, complete with me on the center spread, showing kind of the wearable technologies. So, that type of a thing doesn't happen when you're sitting at home talking to your cat. And that's I can give examples of that on as I started doing more of the marketing. I plugged into another gentleman here, Bryce, who was very expert on kind of online marketing and kind of how to set that up. At the time, I was working on a Kickstarter, so I was able to recruit a lot of people around here on they were very knowledgeable in that process. So what's been really a positive for me is basically as a startup, you're one person, and you're trying to wear as many hats as you can. And where I was able to identify kind of holes in my expertise, I was able to identify a person who was a freelance. So I hired a gentleman here, Andy, to come up with my name, Further Fit, as well as the logo and all the artwork. Again, I found opportunities like Nancy to work with on getting me some great PR. Right now, I'm looking at hiring web developer, and I'm being able to plug into this ecosystem. So it's pretty much as a startup, as an entrepreneur, it's soup to nuts here. Really a little bit of everything. And on the flip side, I get to help out too. So I've had an opportunity to, as a statistician and a numbers guy, I look forward to doing more. But I also want to kind of give back to the community and offer what it is that I have.
Well, one of the values that I find at work is that whenever I have a story that I'm writing and I need interview candidates or I need research subjects, I can come in and usually find somebody here to talk to, either directly to do the research or who can connect me with other people. And that's what happened with this particular article, which was an article that was on various technologies that are being used by North Bay companies, including 3D printing and wearable technology. And right here at work, we have Barry Stomp, who has his 3D printer, so he was able to kind of connect me with that world. But we also have Chris Frothinger, who is developing a new entrepreneurial venture that incorporates wearable technology for fitness people. So it was really helpful, and I was able to interview Chris and include him in my article, and I was happy to do that.
There's a quiet but growing group of folks who are involved in technology, especially software, that are starting. I don't know that they're well connected outside of a place like work, but like myself, I think people chose Petaluma as an area that's just close enough that you can commute into San Francisco if necessary, but a lot of folks are working remotely, working from home, whatever, and it's starting to slowly fill up how the space with amongst other things. This is sort of technology corner over here. 3 out of the 4 desks back here are regularly filled by people working on various software or hardware projects, and so it's there's certainly a lot of people in common. And I help out whenever I can. If I know the answer to something, in Xcode, how do you make something happen when this thing goes haywire? If I know it, I'll try and help out, and I certainly can turn to the other members here if I need help with something. And especially the nice thing is if it's something outside of the software area, it's my expertise. There's plenty of other people here doing really interesting work on all sorts of fronts. I can turn to Ralph, the book editor, for all questions literary related and so forth and so on. There's many other interesting people working out of here. And the wonderful thing about it is, unlike a more traditional office, I don't have to worry about I can show people my projects and they can see my work in progress or whatever, but none of them are direct competitors. So it's a nice share and share alike kind of environment. I can cheer other people on without having to worry about how it hurts my bottom line or anything like that. It's very nice community, a lot of cross information sharing, which I really enjoy.
Working for a company, a lot of these guys are independent or work together in collaboration. As far as working for a company, I feel like it's a success story in that a lot of the brick and mortar buildings and the 9-to-5 and the managers of these companies that are like, you need to sit down in this office in this high rise, are becoming more and more flexible, and places like Work are becoming very viable. Renting workspace in San Francisco can be extremely expensive compared to this option. And me not having to sit on a bus for 3 hours a day, you can't put a price on. You can't really put a price on that. It's great that I get to be flexible, comfortable, still do the same type of work and with the speed and that I'm used to doing, and being able to, take my kid to school in the morning. That's a win.
I would say if you look at biases, there's a fair number of software programmers and tech people, and I think the reason for that is twofold. One is it's a profession in which people are often able to work both on their own, so to speak, and remotely. We have a fair number of writers. I would say that follows the same path. Some design folks. But then after you get beyond that sort of, let's say, obvious core group, which I think for demographic reasons align well with what we created here, you find a bit more variety than what we expect. We have one of my favorites, a guy named Tom Harrison, who makes maps. He makes hiking maps. If you're into hiking, apparently in California, you've likely used his maps. What a unique person to have around. It's not something that I would have expected to encounter, a cartographer. We also have people that do just work that wouldn't necessarily be contemplated as something that we would be supporting, particularly, travel agency work and so forth. So there's a mix of people who just need to have social contact. There's a mix of people who just need a space that is the more comfortable chair and so forth. And then there are the people who, frankly, just need a part-time office. And so we hope to support all of that. As a common thread, however, it is, I think, nepotistic or not an accident that the people that come in are, nice, supportive, friendly people. Because when you come in, while there is a shift in the dynamic, depending on the time of day, sometimes there's a little more bustling, sometimes it's more quiet. As a rule, people are friendly, welcoming, and courteous. Therefore, if that is there and set as a tone from the moment they walk in the door, we hope, then we would find that to be a self-fulfilling thing, and that is a thread and a way of life here at WORK Petaluma.